Hello everybody, and welcome to a very dull and dreary Strasbourg for our November blog. I'm delighted to see you all again. Thank you for tuning in. This week, on our Strasbourg agenda, we're really at what I call a bit of a tidying up week, because we have the final votes on the Common Agricultural Policy. Now, I've talked about those many times on my blog, and you're probably wondering why that isn't all done and dusted. But it's dependent on votes on our budget, which we call our multi-annual financial framework. And again, I've talked about that rather a lot over the months, but we finally get to the point this week where Parliament have conceded and have decided to vote for the cut in the budget that David Cameron began the negotiations on at the beginning of this year in Brussels. That's all good news. You might wonder why it took Parliament quite so long to decide to concede on that. I have to tell you, of course, as ever, we British Conservatives voted for that budget cut all the way from the beginning, but it's been a tough task to get other parts of the Parliament to agree it. But in the end, they have to, because if they want to get things like the Common Agricultural Policy through and in shape for our farmers for 2015, then it simply has to be gotten on with now. And that's what we've done. So we've got many votes on the budget today. We've also got votes on Common Agricultural Policy. That's divided into 4 reports, and I will be voting for 2 of them and voting against 2 of them. I do not think that it represents a good deal for British farmers, and I will not vote for it. One exciting event we've got today is the presentation of Malala Yousafzai, who is the Sakharov Prize winner. Now, the Sakharov Prize is the prize that the Parliament gives to someone who's contributed to peace. And of course, with Malala, with her campaign for the education of girls and women in Pakistan, has been a very big contributor to that. And you all know the story of her very tragic shooting and then her rehabilitation in our very own Birmingham. And it's a delight for me to be able to meet her today, and I'm very much looking forward to it. And one has to keep reminding oneself that we're actually talking about a schoolgirl here when you think about all the things that she's done. So that's coming later today. The other thing it's worth talking to you about is another budget-related vote is on the, it's what we call the regional policy. Now, you will know, if you're listening to me from Cornwall, that Cornwall gets a large chunk of European money, and much of that has gone towards the establishment of rural broadband. Well, the policy is changing slightly, and those areas which are bordering on the areas with the most money will now get some. And in the case of the South West, that applies to Devon, which will be a transition area and will now be in receipt of funds slightly above the average, which I'm very happy about, and I'm delighted that we're going to be able to redistribute some of our own money back to our own people in Devon. So that's really a wrap-up of Strasbourg this month, and it really is a wrap-up. We'll be tidying up an awful lot of loose ends, so we'll look forward to talking to you about some new things in December. Thank you.